All right. Would you like to begin?
Okay. Well, this book project goes back a ways, but it's also very current. And it's probably the first reason, the main reason that I applied for the McKnight Foundation Fellowship Grant was because I found out, well, I've always wanted to do illustrations as part of what I do in art. I have a tendency to make stories and do illustrations, and so some of these, the bigger ones, these go way, not that one, no, that one, that one, that one, that one. 2, 3, 4, 5, the big full ones with no text. Go back a ways. I did those years ago because my maiden name is Griffin and I started doing art about griffins. So then there was this story that grew out of that, and when I heard that UND was putting in a book arts center, or a book arts room, and had some equipment, I thought, oh, you know, that would be fun to do my own letterpress and set the type and write the book and print the book, you know, that. So in my usual unorganized way, I just started doing that and realized as I was working that there was a lot of expense involved in the paper, and each page took me, well, the first page, this page, took me 20 hours to figure out how to get the text in the right place and get the lino cuts in the right height to match the text and get them all locked into the equipment that you have to use to then slide it into the treadle press and print, and it's very, you know, lots to learn. And nobody really working in there except for me, so my instructor was like, well, I don't really know that much about this. This is what I know, and then you can figure out the rest. So I had to figure things out as I went. But so by the time I was getting done with it, I realized that I had kind of a huge project. I decided, well, if I'm going to set these pages up, I have to print a number of them. So I ended up, just because of the way the pages tore down, I ended up doing 34 actually of each page. So I have an edition of 34 books. And then I realized that binding these books was going to be really expensive because of all the equipment that you have to, and I didn't even know how. So I started thinking about going down to the Minnesota Center for the Book Arts. Yeah, Minnesota Center for Book Arts. And I mentioned that to Mara, and she said, oh, well, that might be a good thing to apply for a grant for. And I thought, really? And she said, oh yeah, that would be good. New thing that you're learning, something that you don't know. So I thought, okay, well, and this is gonna, I had already set up the plan to have a show in here with my son Alan, with some of my prints that I've been working on, but also with the book. So I decided to try to get some funding to do the tutorial that I would need to have to learn the first step in binding, the first step only, and to buy the book cloth and the book board and the paste papers and all that, it's a special stuff that's expensive. And so that's what I applied for the grant for. Plus, some of the framing and matting and mounting materials that it would take to put the show together, which is a lot. So without the grant, I don't know if I would have gotten it done. I don't know if I would have been able to justify to myself that I should spend that much money on something that is just something that I love, but I don't know that anybody else is ever going to love it. You know, that's the way art is. But letterpress is a new field in some ways for artists, because now that it's not being done so much for commercial reasons, it's moved into the art world, which often happens. So there's a lot to be done with letterpress, and I hope to learn a lot more. But anyway, this book is a children's book, but it isn't totally a children's book. It's kind of it's an art book that children would enjoy. And I enjoy it too. And now I have a closet full of book supplies, so I have to bind the rest of these books this summer, I think is going to be a project. So then moving on, maybe? I don't
Okay.
know.